You are an individual. You're not just a member of some group. I too am an individual, and I am much more than just a member of one group or another. As individuals, each of us is responsible for our own actions, our own behavior, our own choices. But also as individuals, not one of us is responsible for anyone else's actions, for any other person's choices, or for any other individual's behavior. What am I talking about here? Well, I'm talking about what pretty much everybody in America is talking about right now, race. It's a taboo subject. We're always treated like we're not supposed to talk about it. And yet, it seems like it's all we talk about sometimes. This is not an accident. There's a reason for this. There are powerful forces in this world who want us divided into these little groups. You see, like any other form of government, democracy has flaws. I'm not saying it's not the best form of government, it is. But one of the flaws is this. If I am a politician and I want to get people to vote for me, I can do it the hard way or I can do it the easy way. The hard way is to get people to think. True, genuine, critical thinking. Then I have to explain my positions. I have to explain my philosophies. I have to explain my platform. And I have to explain it in such a way that you'll understand. And you've got to put the energy in to think about it and to decide whether or not this guy's full of crap. But there's a much easier way. I can appeal to your emotions, and one way to do this, what politicians have figured out is one of the easiest ways to do this, is break everybody down into little groups. I'm going to do this for the black people. And I'm going to do this for you Hispanics. This is what I'm going to do for you gays. And this is what I'm going to do for you women. When I approach everybody on this kind of level, break them down into some kind of group, then find some way to appeal to the group on an emotional level, I don't have to get anybody thinking. I can simply get people to vote for me based on pure emotion, and that's exactly what our politicians have been doing for years. But you're not just a group member. You are an individual. And you're not responsible for the behaviors, for the choices, or for the actions of any other individual. Now, let's say that you were to meet somebody and his name was Muhammad Ali, Jalal, Yusuf. Because this man has a name like one of these names, because this man is probably Arab or Middle Eastern, probably his religion is Muslim, that does not make him responsible for 9/11 or any other terrorist attack. The key is to understand that this man is an individual and judge him only for his own behavior. But where we get in trouble is because we're told to think of everybody as group members, all of a sudden you can't even say that 9/11 had anything to do with Muslims or had anything to do with Arabs, because now you're in trouble, you're stereotyping. But that's just a simple fact that it did. However, the young person that you have met, you can't judge based on that because he's not responsible for those other people's decisions, even if they're like him. The same can be said for whites, blacks, Hispanics, or any other group. We have this big argument about immigration. And people who want the laws enforced, all of a sudden they're called racist. This is stupid because people are responsible for their own individual choices and not for the choices of others. Any Hispanic who is here in the United States legally is not responsible for illegal aliens being in our country. But that doesn't mean you excuse an illegal alien for breaking the law just because you don't want to hurt the feelings of somebody based on ethnicity. That's ridiculous. Every individual is responsible for their own individual choices and actions. And this brings me to the current issue. This criminal case we had in Florida, and all of a sudden everybody wants to make it all about race. Let's just assume for the argument that it was. And I could have a whole discussion on why I don't believe that's the truth, but let's just assume for the sake of the argument that it was. It has nothing to do with any other black person other than Trayvon Martin. That has nothing to do with any other white person or Hispanic person or white Hispanic other than George Zimmerman, because we're all individuals and each of us is responsible for our own behavior and actions. Not one of us is responsible for the behavior or actions of anyone else. Let's quit falling for this stupid plot of these politicians to break us down into little groups. Let's quit identifying this way and let's just all be Americans. Disagreeing with the president is not racist. Voting against the president isn't racist. By the way, there may have been some people out there who voted against him because of his race. There were an awful lot more who voted for him solely because of his race. And that, my friends, is racist. So let's quit playing this little game. And let's think of each other as individuals, not members of groups. And you're responsible for your choices, your actions, and your behaviors. And you're not responsible for the actions, the choices, or behaviors of anyone else, regardless of whether or not they happen to look just like you.